Okay, today we're looking at lesson 1-6, translating and solving equations, so you need to make sure you have access to your handout from yesterday. Today's learning target is I can translate a sentence into an equation and solve for my variable. So remember, we do have addition phrases like plus, add, more than, sum, increase by, exceeds by. Subtraction phrases like subtract, less than, minus, decrease by, difference, subtracted from. For multiplication, we have multiply times, product of. You also can see like the words twice, triple, basically where anything is getting like really big. That's a sign of multiplication. And then we have our division phrases, which are divide, quotient, and split up among. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at word problems where we actually have to translate them into an equation and solve for the variable. So if we look at our first example, we have 8 times the number equals 35 more than the number. Find the number. So we're going to do exactly what we did yesterday, where we take notes on the top of the problem. So if we look, we're doing 8 times a number. That's multiplication. So we're going to do 8 times a number. We don't know what the number is, so we're going to do an x. And we're saying that's equal to 35 more than the number. Well, if we look, more than is addition. So we're going to do 35 plus x. So now we have our equation. We have 8 times x. We have, one second. Okay, so it looked like this. It looked like 8 times the number equals 35 more than the number. So our equation is going to be 8 times x equals 35 plus x. So we're going to do 8x equals 35 plus x. So if we want to solve this, we do PCV and A. We have no parentheses. There's no like terms to combine. Our variables are on different sides, so we're going to subtract x from both sides of our equation. 8x minus x is 7x, and that's equal to 35. What I'm now going to do is I want to get rid of that 7, so I'm going to divide both sides of my equation by 7, and I get x is equal to 5. So my mystery number is 5. Okay, number 2. If 4 times a number, don't know what my number is decreased by 9, so I'm going to subtract 9, the result is the same as, that's the sign you're going to do equal, when 3 times the number, so 3 times x, is decreased by 1. Find the number. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be doing 4 times x, or 4x minus 9, equals 3x minus 1. So I have my equation as 4x minus 9 equals 3x minus 1. We want to get the variables on one side, so what I'm going to do is I want to get rid of that 3x. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides of my equation. I get x minus 9 equals negative 1. Now I need to figure out how do I get rid of my minus 9. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So I get x is equal to 8. So my mystery number is 8. Number 3, find 4 consecutive integers such that the sum of the second and the fourth is 132. So that's a new word, consecutive integers. Whenever you see the word consecutive, and not saying consecutive even or consecutive odd, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing this thing where we mean like the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So if I have 4 consecutive integers, I have 4 separate numbers. I have the number 1, I have number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. And I want to find out what the value of each of those numbers are. So if I think about it, if I don't know what my first number is, that's going to be an x. If I don't know what my second number is, well, I have to figure out how do I go from 1 to 2. I just add 1, but the thing is I don't know what that number was, so I'm going to be writing this as x plus 1. And then my third number, how do I go from 1 to 3? That would be a plus 2, so I'm going to be doing x plus 2. And then how do I go from 1 to 4? That's just going to be an x plus 3. So basically whenever you see consecutive integers, you're going to just do x, x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3, and so forth. Now the sum, if I think about sum, that means addition, of the second and the fourth is 132. So if I look, my second number is x plus 1, and my fourth is x plus 3. So I'm going to be doing x plus 1 plus x plus 3 equals 132. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine my like terms. So x plus x is 2x. 1 plus 3 is 4, and that's equal to 132. I need to ask myself, how do I get rid of that plus 4? I subtract 4. So I get 2x is equal to 128, and then I divide by 2. When I divide by 2, I get x is equal to 64. Now, if you look, the question's not asking you to just solve for x. It's asking you to find the numbers. So now I have to go back to where I started and plug in 64 for x. So if I plug in 64 right here, I just get 64. If I do 64 plus 1, I get 65. If I do 64 plus 2, I get 66. And if I do 64 plus 3, I get 67. Those are my final answers. So I have 4 integers. Number 4. Yeah, number 4, sorry. Find 3 consecutive even integers such that the sum of the smallest and twice the second is 20 more than the third. So consecutive even integers. So like an even number is like 2, 4, 6, 8. So I'm just going to write that down as a note. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay? So if I don't know my first even integers, I want to find 3 of them. So I have like number 1 again, number 2, and I have the third number. So if I want to find 3 consecutive even integers, I have to ask myself, I don't know my first number is, so that's just going to be a good old x. If I go from a 2 to a 4, I'm not adding 1 this time, I'm actually adding 2. So my second integer would be x plus 2. Then I'd have to ask myself, how do I go from 2 to 6? That would be like an x plus 4. So those are our 3 integers that we're coming up with. Let's look at how we would approach the problem. The sum, so addition, of the smallest, so my smallest one is x, and twice the second. So basically, my second is x plus 2, so plus 2 times x plus 2 is 20 more than the third. 20 more than the third, so that's an addition. So I'm going to be doing 20 plus my third, which is x plus 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to simplify this equation. So x plus 2 times x plus 2, sorry. So I'm going to distribute that 2. So I have x plus 2x plus 4 equals 20 plus x plus 4. Now that I no longer have parentheses, I'm going to combine my like terms. So on the left-hand side of my equation, my like terms are x and 2x. 1x plus 2x is 3x. So I have 3x plus 4 equals, now I combine the like terms on the right-hand side. So I have 20 and 4, so 24. So I have x plus 24. Now I want to get x on one side, so I'm going to subtract x from both sides of my equation. So I get 3x minus x is 2x. So I have 2x plus 4 equals 24. Take away 4 from both sides of your equation. So I get 2x equals 20. And then I divide by 2. So I get x equals 10. So now I know that my mystery number is 10. But the thing is, I want to find those integers. So I have to go back in and plug in 10. So if I plug in 10 for x, I get 10. 10 plus 2, 12. 10 plus 4, 14. So my final answer is 10, 12, and 14. Number 5. Find 2 consecutive odd integers. So this is, whenever you see consecutive even or consecutive odd, it's the exact same procedure. You do x and x plus 2. So I have 2 integers. So I have like the number 1, which is just going to be x, and the number 2, which is going to be x plus 2. Let me just change the color of this to a different one. Very good. So such that 4 times the larger, so 4 times the larger, so 4 times the second number, equals 29 more than, so plus 3 times the smaller. So if I do this, I'm going to be doing 4 times my second number, which is x plus 2, so I'm going to just do a parentheses, and that's equal to 29 plus 3 times the smaller, so 3 x, because I'm doing 3 times my smaller number, which is just x. I have a number outside my parentheses, so I'm going to distribute that 4. So I have 4 times x and 4 times 2. So I have 4x plus 8 equals 29 plus 3x. I want to get my x's on one side, so I'm going to subtract 3x, subtract 3x. 4x minus 3x is 1x. I have x plus 8 equals 29. I got to get rid of that plus 8, so I'm going to subtract 8. And I get x is equal to 21. So if I look, I'm going to go back in and plug in. When I plug in 21 for x, I get 21. And 21 plus 2 is 23. So 21 and 23 are my 2 consecutive odd integers. If you have any questions, email myself or Ms. Townsend.